ليكويديشن مصاري فلوس ليكويديشن. نزلت 3 حلقات. 3 حلقات صار عليها تفاعل كبير، ومشان هيك وتقديرا لتفاعلكم انا اليوم بسانتا انا اورنج كاونتي بكاليفورنيا بواحد من الوير هاوسز او المستودعات الكبيره للي في عندهم الليكويديشن، للي ممكن تجي تصف سيارتك تاخذ البالت تبعك بعد ما تنقي وتمشي. اسعار متفاوته، اسعار رخيصه، بضائع كتير مختلفه. اليوم انا عند شخص اسمه كيفن رح اساله بعض الاسئله، رح تجاوب عن استفساراتكم، ورح احط لكم البريد او الموقع الالكتروني الخاص فيه للي بتقدروا من خلاله توصلوا لكيفن وتقدروا تشتروا من عنده الليكويديشن وتبتدوا هذا البزنس اذا حابين تفوتوا بهذا العالم. الليكويديشن للمره الرابعه ورح تكون اخر حلقه معي، بس بتمنى انه هي الحلقه تجاوب عن كل اسئلتكم، ودائما بصمه ايجابيه بالمجتمع ومعلومه طالعه من القلب رايحه للقلب، وخليكم معي وبنقول مرحبا لكيفن. Brother, thank you to have me in today. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, as I mentioned to you before, like I had 3 videos, and the 3 videos they had like it's so many comments, and the people they are wondering how to get the liquidation and how to buy the liquidation.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here today. I really appreciate any information, just like you just offer it or provide it, you know. And if you don't mind, I'm just gonna list your website and the contact information so the people they will be able to know how to reach out to you.
That'd be great.
So, mix of the merchandise. I know that like you're getting like it's every week a different or random different things. So,
yes.
Can you please just tell me what you are doing here?
Oh, absolutely. So, Mohammed, so one of my favorite things to do right now is something called Amazon Black Wrap. Amazon has lots of different programs. Some of them are just general merchandise. Some of them are what they call premium. These are very expensive truckloads with very expensive electronics. There's also things called Black Wrap, which is the product I like to purchase and the product I like to sell here. What Black Wrap is, it's a mix of all of it. So it's a really nice, cheap way to get a lot of the really expensive items and some of the cheaper items as well. So for example, some of the stuff that we found, and just last night, we found a 3D printer. This thing retails for like $220.
This is a commercial.
It's all brand new.
This is a commercial, right?
It can be used for commercial purposes, yes.
Okay.
PLA is pretty quick to print. So
I can see here some food as well. So that's it's all come with like
I said, it all is completely random. You don't know what you're going to get. In fact, let's show everyone what a pallet might look like really fast.
All right, brother. So I'm just wondering, like, if the people they wanted to start this kind of business, so what the budget they are looking for, like how much they should be start with. Like there is a lot of advertising on Facebook and social media, which is talking like about really cheap price and just buy it for $200 and make $3,000, which actually it's unlogic, like doesn't make sense. So what's your advice to my audience who watching this video today?
Yeah. My advice is, now you can get pallets priced anywhere between $200 and $800 depending on where you go. My advice is start small. So when you go into a shop, you know, don't necessarily be swayed and buy like the highest price thing. Start small. We all have limited resources. We all have limited budgets. Once for your first or second pallet, it's not as important if you make as much money. It's more important that you learn the lessons that need to be learned. So for example, if I've got something that's $600 and $200, look at the $200 pallet first and be like, what's in here? What makes sense for me? And if you can sell the $200 pallet, then you could spend the money on the $600 pallet and make even more than you could have otherwise. You can go ahead and jump in and get the untouched pallets for $600, no problem. But there's a lot of lessons that need to be learned. And if you're going to really start investing a lot of time and money into this, it's best to start small and then validate your ideas, then you work your way up from there. And that's my best advice.
What the expectation regard, like if they are buying pallets for $600, what they should expect like return?
So at all levels, you should expect to double and hopefully triple your money. You're going to really start seeing money roll in when you buy 3 or 4 pallets a month. Because if you are doubling the pallet, let's just say you are consistently doubling the money on the pallets. You spend $200, you spend $400, you spend $600. All the profit that you make from that you double, right? It goes back into your next pallet. So you're really only going to start making a lot of money when you hit really nice pallets that you're like triple or a little more than double. Things like that. Or when you really know how to sell things, you've learned all the lessons you needed to learn, that's when you'll make it. And so when you go through your first pallet, kind of remember that when you're going through your pallet, just imagine the amount of work goes into it and find a system that makes sense for you, that you can basically, where you can multiply your effort in a more seamless way. So you go through your first pallet, just imagine you need to do 3 times the amount of work. Find a good system to make that work. I recommend that everyone have 2 ways to sell. So one of my favorite ways is eBay, and another thing that I do is wholesale. So you need to find your 2 ways to sell and then really dig in hard. And then once you figure that out, you're good to go.
Perfect. Can you walk me like just through some stuff if you don't mind?
Sure. So the first thing we do when we receive a shipment is they all come looking, for example, like this. So this is an example of Amazon BlackWrap that comes in the shop. Okay,
how high is it? Like it's about 8 feet?
I'd say this is easily about 7.5, 8 feet, no problem. Yeah. So from here, we basically break it open. So there's a couple things that we do in the shop. The first thing that I do is I let people come inside and you can buy them straight off the truck untouched. So that is one of the things that I really like doing.
So this is a very important question. Thank you to bring it up. So my question is to my audience, if someone just came to Kevin to buy from Kevin, is he allowed or is she allowed like just looking for what they exactly their needs, like they can look up inside the boxes, just inspect the boxes before they buy it, or what's your policy like?
Yeah, so my policy is if it's BlackWrap, like that's the thing, I do not go through the pallets, I don't retouch them, I don't reorganize them. I let people buy them as they are, straight as I buy them. So if they come like BlackWrap like this, if they come looking like this, the one real rule that I have is you don't break the wrap. I don't pick through the pallets. So I don't pick through the pallets, and no one should either. So
as is. So what about the other merchandise? There is any way they can just make some inspection before they buy it or not?
Yes. So for BlackWrap, I allow you to basically, as long as you don't break the wrap, you can kind of look inside. You can look from the top with the ladder, or I do receive other products as well, where it just comes in clear shrink wrap. So for example, there's some furniture over here. These are some of so someone's actually coming later today to pick this up. But for example, for the clear shrink wrap, you could obviously see right through. These item numbers you can look up on Google. So normally the pallets look like this.
So they can figure out what kind of products in the box through the numbers, what it's already, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, it makes sense. So, okay, so what the people or my audience expectation if they stop by to buy, how you will be able to help them, like what kind of service you're gonna offer them. Most of them, they are just like brand new in the business. Most of them, they just trying to test the water before they deep in,
Of course.
and they are spending money, so that's mean an investment. Some of them, like the $100, this mean a lot for them, and I know how you are honest, so that's why I really appreciate that to give me this time and just explain to them what kind of the steps or the process they have to go through till when they become official in this business. So
the first question that I ask everyone that's new is, where do you want to sell? And I ask that particular question because the most important thing before you get any pallets, obviously you'll validate the idea after you get a pallet, you start selling. But the biggest thing is you need to think about where you want to sell. And that is the question I ask every single one of my clients that walks in the door. So where I want to sell. So there's a couple of primary ways to do this. You can sell online. You could sell on Amazon Marketplace. You can sell on eBay. You could sell at yard sales or flea markets. Or you can sell on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. They're all different ways to try to sell different types of products. So my biggest thing is I'm going to ask you, where do you want to sell? And then based on how you answer that question, I can recommend you different product types. And that's what you could expect.
And how much they need to bring with them as money-wise just to start this business?
Anywhere between $400 and $600 is good. In terms of what you need saved up, I would say if you're going to start by buying a couple of pallets, have at least 1,000 or 1,500 saved up. So that way, if a pallet doesn't turn out what you want, you can go get another one and you're going to be okay. Just remember though, that you're going to have to get 3 or 4 pallets a month until you start to see the profit really start rolling in. Because if you only get one, the profit from that will be enough to pay for the cost of the next. So you're going to need a couple of pallets and a good system to get going. So I recommend 2 people is good, have at least 1,000 or 1,500 saved up and ready to go. Expect to pay anywhere between $200 and $600 for your first pallet.
All right, so and one more question if you don't mind. Like at most of my audience, they are from United States, and some of them they are overseas actually, like in different countries, you know.
That's pretty
and
wild.
Even who is in the States, you know, United States is big, so like it's sometimes just you need to fly like 6 hours from Cali to get in New York. I mean, and even in California, like between where we are actually right now in Orange County to San Francisco, like about 8 hours drive. So just tell me, if someone interested to buy something from you, are you able to just ship it out for them, or they have to make kind of arrangement with you before they start like?
Yeah, so interestingly, I do work with independent drivers who can carry up to 12 or 26 pallets depending on how many you get. For smaller orders, it's best if you just pick up. You may be able to find something on TaskRabbit or U-Haul, but if you're local, just come by and pick it up. If you're interested in getting 12 or 26 pallets or more, I can help you with drivers. But yeah.
For how long have you been in this business, Kevin?
I've been in this business for about a year and a half.
It's making money.
It is making money.
It's making money. All right.
making
I know that because I'm one of your customers, so I really know that. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for all the advices. You know, this. Thank you, bro. So this video is gonna be in English and Arabic.
Okay.
And
awesome. Unfortunately, I only speak English, everybody, so please be your translator.
No worry, I do speak Arabic, so that's why, no worry, I'm always with you. محمد، معلومة طالعة من القلب، رايحة للقلب، بحبكم كلياتكم، وشوفكم بالحلقة الجاية.